Khalid Hosseini was born on March 4, 1965, in Kabul, Afghanistan. He was raised by a diplomat father and his mother, who was a high school history teacher. He and his family moved to Paris in 1976 due to his father's work and were unable to move back due to the Soviet invasion, and thus were granted political asylum and moved to California. Hosseini attended Santa Clara University and studied biology. In 1989, he went to a medical school at the University of California in San Diego and received his medical degree. In 1996, he went into a private practice. The Kite Runner was Hosseini's first novel that tells the story of a wealthy Pashtun boy named Amir who lives in Afghanistan before the Soviet invasion. Hosseini puts aspects of his own childhood through the main character Amir, such as living in pre-Soviet Afghanistan, storytelling, having a Haraza servant, their relationship with his father, and even reading his late mother's books. Hassan is a Haraza servant to Amir and his father. He is illiterate and Amir's quote-unquote friend. Hosseini knew a Haraza boy named Musa who was sexually abused, just like Hassan in The Kite Runner. Hosseini also had a Haraza servant whom he read to, just as Amir read to Hassan.
In 1973, Zahir Shah, the king of Afghanistan, was overthrown by the Pashtun faction of the People's Democratic Party of Afghanistan, who were led by the Mohammed Dad. In the book, Amir describes the night the king was overthrown as the beginning of the end, referring to the end of the previous life of all the Afghans. Mohammed Dad was later overthrown and replaced by the Khalq, who became the only official party. Hafizullah Amin became ruler of Afghanistan. In order to keep fundamentalists happy, he began to cut off ties with Moscow, which displeased the Soviet leaders. The Soviets began to invade Afghanistan and take control of the situation by censoring the radio and any printed materials. The war moved to the provinces of Kabul, which is where Amir lived. Many main crops grown in farm fields were destroyed and small mines were placed. These small mines were usually set off by curious children. Many people fled the country seeking refuge in Pakistan and Iran. In The Kite Runner, Amir describes his journey of leaving Afghanistan and going to Peshawar, Pakistan, with his father before heading to America in hopes for a better life for Amir. It wasn't until the year of 1988 that the Soviet Union began its 10-month withdrawal from Afghanistan. The rise of the Taliban began in the year 1994, but did not control much of Afghanistan until 1996. The Taliban were a religious political movement that did not allow people to listen to music, dance, play games and sports, or celebrate non-religious festivals. When Amir goes to visit Rahim, when he finds out that he's really sick, Rahim tells him about how he was once hit on his head because he was mistaken for the man near him who cheered too loudly at a soccer game. Fear arose since breaking the law had severe consequences, such as being arrested, being beaten, or sometimes even put to death. Amir himself witnesses an execution of a woman and a man who had broken the law during the halftime of a soccer match. It wasn't until the Taliban were removed from power that people were able to freely celebrate their culture.
What I'm going to talk about is guilt, and Amir talks about the guilt he felt from his past affecting his present at the beginning of the book. His main source of guilt was not stepping up for his friend Hassan when he was being raped to keep the kite Amir won. But after this happened, Amir decided to ignore his friend and try to erase this moment from his mind. Amir also feels responsible for his mother's death. She died of childbirth, and his father makes him feel like he's also responsible for it. So Amir's father's guilt is what stops him from recognizing Hassan as his son and giving him like the same life that Amir had. The next theme is redemption, and since Amir feels responsible for his mother's death, he looks for redemption from Baba because he feels that his father doesn't think he's worthy of him and he's not good enough for him, and he tries to prove him wrong. And his need of redemption is what motivates him to win the kite fighting. But after he won the kite fight, he wanted redemption from what had happened to Hassan for keeping the kite. So he finally got his redemption when him and Sorab defeated Asef, and he was able to save Sorab from Asef. father and son relationships. So, as you can see in this picture, Amir and Baba had a really complicated relationship, and Baba says multiple times that Amir isn't anything like him, and sometimes he wishes he could change and make his son someone that would step up for someone else. Baba is also Hassan's biological father, and he gives Hassan as much attention as he can without revealing his secret. So, as we all know, he never forgot his birthday, and he even fixed his cleft lip. He paid for it. And so the best relationship, the father and son relationship in this book was Sorab and Hassan. And like in this picture, they were happy, and they would play together and they would spend good times together. And yeah, at the end of the book, Amir becomes kind of like Sorab's father and gives him hope that someday they will both love each other whenever they see like the kite fighting and all that. Yay! So, friendship. Hassan and Amir were basically brothers, and like even when they didn't know this, they were like brothers whenever they thought they were just friends, but they were actually brothers. And Hassan is also Amir's servant, which is the reason why he's very loyal to him. Um, and well, he defended him from Asef, but their relationship basically consisted, friendship basically consisted of growing up together and playing outside, and Amir reading like all these heroic tales and really cool things, and them being besties for life. Well, sort of, never mind. And so now we're moving into symbols, and this is a blue kite. And the kite symbolizes Amir's privileged Afghan childhood, and it's also a trophy of honor, but it also symbolizes Hassan's loyalty. So, like, whenever they met after Hassan was raped, um, Amir says that he like the first thing he noticed was the kite in Hassan's like hand, so it represents the loyalty Hassan had for him or to him. But another symbol for the kite is, as we all know, kites are very fragile and they're made of paper and they're easily broken. And this is also compared to Amir and Hassan's friendship and how delicate it was and how easily it could have been broken. The next symbol is the lamb. So a lamb is obviously the sacrifice of an innocent, and Hassan being raped, um, well, basically, Hassan is the lamb whenever he's being raped because Amir thinks that Hassan was his prize and the lamb he had to slay to like get his father's love. So the lamb is also a symbol for Jesus Christ. Hassan was willingly raped since he had a choice, just like the choice Jesus Christ had to be crucified. Alright, so the slingshot is a symbol of courage for being in the hands of a Hazara boy to be able to escape a Taliban. And it also symbolizes kind of like Sorab and Hassan's like connection or like how alike they were. So they both use the slingshot to stop Asef. And the cleft lip. So the cleft lip symbolizes the economic and social disparity between Hassan and Amir, especially since Baba was the one that paid for Hassan to have his cleft lip fixed. And so this also makes it a symbol for Baba's secret parental love to Hassan. But also, Asef splits Amir's lip in two, and this kind of symbolizes like a deformity, like just like Hassan had, and it makes Amir something like Hassan, like brave and willing to stand up for someone else. So yeah, yay!